There's something so satisfying about watching Alan Richardson take down a bunch of bullies in Reacher. We're back for season 3. I've seen all the episodes and I'm here to do a non-spoiler review. I hope you enjoy these. Check out my other 2 reviews if you need to catch up. But for now, let's jump in. Based on Lee Child's novel Persuader, in the 3rd season of the action-packed series, Reacher hurtles into the dark heart of a vast criminal enterprise when trying to rescue an undercover DEA informant whose time is running out. There, he finds a world of secrecy and violence and confronts some unfinished business from his own past. So Alan is obviously back as Reacher. This time around, we do have a couple of recurring characters, but for the most part, it's a new-ish team. Mostly have Alan by himself. We have Anthony Michael Halls playing Zachary Beck, who Alan finds himself inserted into his life as a bodyguard / security detail. And we also have Alan playing a sort of surrogate father figurehead for the actor Johnny Berchtold, who's the son of Zachary Beck. We have Sonia Cassidy, who's playing Susan Duffy, the DEA agent. Maria Sten as Frances Neagley, that we've seen before, and we have a number of others that I don't really want to mention in case of spoilers. Season 3, 8 episodes, all about 45 minutes. Reacher's doing his thing. He's doing the thing that makes Reacher Reacher. The problem is, people might go into this one and sigh a little bit going, oh no, we're stepping back from that team we built from season 2. I, on the other hand, and I think a lot of other people, really enjoyed Reacher doing his thing by himself in season 1. It was like a Terminator of a man who did things that were tough, had a brain on him, but the brawn to match it up when he needs to go into action. And then seeing the investigation unfold from season 1 was a thing of beauty. In season 2, I would agree with Chris from Movies and Munchies. It helped humanize the character somewhat because he was offset against the team. It kind of brought him back to a perspective of being less Terminator-ish. I think a lot of people enjoyed that. I enjoyed season 2 less, still really enjoyed it, but for me season 1 still stands the test of time. That was until I came into season 3. This time around, he's back to being the Terminator guy. And if you think that means you're stripping away all sorts of emotion, making him relatable at all for what he's going through, that he can't have any disastrous circumstances because he's so strong and he's so well trained, that's not the case here. In fact, I would say this season, there's a more emotional gut punch for his character. There's a whole episode about midway through where the majority of the episode is about a thing that happened to him, and it's the driving force, the MacGuffin for this story as to why he seems to be in emotional torment. And you don't really get to see that because he's not the type of guy that's going to go outpouring of emotions. No, he's a guy that lets subtle things, the fear, the anger, all boil underneath the surface of his face. There's a slight moments in his eyes. You know that when he walks into the room, that he's already conducted a survey of the exits and how to take down everybody in the fastest method possible, as well as conducting who he needs to keep alive to torture them to get the information. That's just kind of how his brain works. Now, when you add the added layer of stuff that means something to him without going into spoilers, then we see a different side. Once we hit the midway season point of Reacher in season 3, there's a lot more emotional weight to this story. So for those that were like, it just feels like I'm watching a Terminator again, yes, you do get that. And it's fantastic to watch him decimate a bunch of bullies. I have a lot of fun watching him take down people that need to be taught a lesson. But also, there's a sense of morality here that we don't see a lot portrayed in TV. And it could be easy to mistake Reacher for not being a multifaceted, deeply layered character because you look at him and just say brawn and a bit of brains. But the more you read the books, the more you understand how much integrity matters to the Reacher character. When you take that trait, that's what we get in season 3. So yes, we get those amazing action sequences, beating up the bullies, but it's his morality of doing what's right, and once you see Reacher make a mistake because he's not perfect, you see him try and right that. He's not always by himself, but he often relies just on himself because he's come to learn that there's very few people that can live up to his morality standards. There's few people that he's willing to trust, and we see a sort of relationship formed with a DEA agent, a sort of surrogate father relationship formed with a young man that needs father intervention. And then we see the rage that has boiled from his past, that again he needs to set something right. So season 3 has multiple storylines. We have Reacher's past and he's trying to fix something. We have the DEA agent who's on a rescue mission, and then we have father and son relationship who are in a position that they never thought they should have been in, and it's a dangerous position. All these things lead to chaos on screen. It's really fun to watch, and I think this is so binge worthy because every episode doesn't leave you on a cliffhanger, but leaves you on a bit where you want to click on to the next bit. You need to know where the story is going to progress. You don't know that Rich is always going to be okay. There are definitely plot protection moments, but for the most part, the characters you see on screen, you don't know if they're going to survive, especially when some characters end up dying. It's wonderfully acted, brutally told in parts. The action you get to see isn't fast and over-the-top cutting. No, you get to see how well Reacher has trained. And for the ladies or the men who are wanting to see the abs on abs on abs, Alan Richardson has not let himself go. If there is ever a guy that's going to make a man feel inadequate about his body, it's this dude, because we get to see him a lot in his boxes, and man, this guy's like a chiseled god, a Greek god, a Herculean perfect specimen of a man. And like, if I swung that way, you get what I'm saying. He's so charismatic in a very understated way. There's emotional intensity boiling underneath his skin. You can see rage, and every time someone picks on him or pushes him that he doesn't react, you just know that's another score, that he's keeping a tally, that when he needs to react, it's going to be precise. And that's what we get here. A wonderful story told in parts that make you want to click on to the next episode. Beautifully shot, some really creative shots that I wasn't expecting from a TV series. I think sometimes TV series get a bit of a pass. You get that kind of TV glow, hyper-glossed, hyper-realized characters that don't really need to pay attention to the plot or device because it's a TV series. Film, you have to be sort of art for the most part when it comes to telling this sort of story. Here, however, they're able to find the balance between having fun but also having a good-looking series with emotional depth, great action for that escapism, but also gets you emotionally involved with the character because there is a time constraint in this particular season that they have to find out in case, because somebody might die or multiple people might die, as well as a vengeance story because of that emotional gut punch that comes away midway point. So in the end, this ended up being my favorite season, even though I love season 1 and I enjoyed season 2. This one was the culmination of all of those events, leading into something quite spectacular, and I can't wait for more. Let me know in the comments below, are you enjoying this series? Do you like Alan Richardson's depiction of Reacher? I find him fascinating to watch, highly enjoyable as a specimen of a man. Yeah. I'm going to give this 4.5 Nicolas Cages out of 5.
And you got one.
Let me know what you thought about this season of TV in particular. But most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.